Good afternoon, folks. I'm here to talk about Donald Trump's tariffs, Canada's response, and where this puts Manitoba. History will not be kind to Donald Trump, so we should never appease him. And we should fight back, which is what Canada is doing today. We can fight back against Donald Trump by buying from Canadian businesses, by supporting Canadian workers, and most importantly, by living up to our Canadian values. I can tell you right now that Team Canada is 100% united behind what the Prime Minister announced earlier today. Just over an hour ago, I got off a call with the Prime Minister and the other premiers, and there was a really strong sense of unity. And you've heard from many of those leaders by now. So I just wanted to say very clearly, the government of Manitoba is 100% behind the Prime Minister's direction to retaliate against Donald Trump's unjustified and immoral tariffs that are going to make life more expensive yet again for Americans. He's already made life more expensive with previous tariffs and his war in Iran, raising the price of gasoline for all of us. Now, we also support the idea that workers here and companies here in Manitoba and across Canada should not be the ones to bear the brunt. And so we're going to work together with the federal government to ensure that our economy stays strong. That's why just yesterday we were talking about our plans for the Port of Churchill. And in the coming days, you'll see us gathering our U.S. Trade Council, announcing how we'll coordinate with the federal government, and of course, continuing to send a message that buying Canadian, supporting local business, and adhering to our Canadian values is the best way for us to push back. Donald Trump has certainly changed the world, but he hasn't changed us. And we also know that Donald Trump won't be there forever. So let's continue extending that hand of friendship to the American people, and hopefully they will have Donald Trump and his folks see the door very quickly, and we could get back to better times with our neighbors to the south. Alors, je suis très content d'être ici aujourd'hui pour supporter le Premier ministre du Canada et partager le fait que le gouvernement du Manitoba est là pour appuyer la direction de M. Carney pour supporter les compagnies, les travailleurs dans notre province et tout partout dans le Canada. Ce que M. Trump a fait n'est pas correct, mais en tant que les Canadiens, nous avons un choix pour continuer de supporter notre pays et puis nous autres. Merci beaucoup. So any questions? I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, we can leave it at that.
The other day, you were talking about you want Ottawa to fight back, and they're going to do that. But I guess what now happens to workers in Manitoba who are sort of collateral?
Workers in Manitoba are at the center of this. You heard from the Prime Minister today that the Americans wanted to tariff heavy vehicles, which we manufacture here. We have a steel plant in Selkirk. So I'm glad that the Prime Minister has walked away from what would have been a bad deal. We all can see the negative impacts that acquiescing or appeasing Donald Trump would have. These tariffs that he's putting on us because he's got some sort of need to try and look macho or whatever is completely wrong. And we as Canadians should never accept it. We should always push back. And so in the meantime, we'll work together with the federal government to make sure that industries that are facing this uncertainty are going to get the necessary supports. As you heard from the federal government earlier today, they'll be sharing some of that information in the coming days. For us, we're going to get our U.S. Trade Council, which is made up of local business and labor leaders and community leaders, together on Monday. We'll be analyzing the information that the federal government shares with us about their supports and the potential impacts through the week. And then, of course, we'll be sharing more info on how we can work together to support businesses here and across the province.
When do you expect to have that information?
This week. Yeah, like we're supposed to hear the federal supports on Tuesday, so I think you'll hear from us. It'll be similar to what you've seen before, things like tax deferrals, so that business owners can keep cash on hand to keep people working and to keep our economy moving.
Do you see any other ways, like Manitoba, sort of retaliate? I know there's maybe the federal government sent some retaliatory tariffs, but is there any other like that too?
Yeah, definitely. I think the actions that the province has taken about procurement and keeping the American booze off the shelves have proven very effective. That has clearly gotten the attention of the Americans. They don't like it, so let's continue to drive that point and ensure that they feel that. In terms of future steps, I think we should look at what the federal government announced. We'll see the details of that this week, coming in September 8th, and so I think for us to coordinate that would be very, very important. But yeah, we've taken steps and we'll continue to maintain those. So the U.S. booze, we won't be ordering anytime soon in light of this attack on our country by Donald Trump. And when it comes to the procurement, we were sitting on a number of tenders, right? We were sitting on them. We were going to remove some preference away from U.S. business, right, if we actually had a deal here. But since Donald Trump has attacked our country today, well, we're going to keep tendering and saying we're going to prefer Canadian business to American business. We've already reduced the amount that we spend on U.S. companies by more than 80% last year.
Did the Prime Minister talk at all in the UK about any potential future talks? So there is some time before September 8th that take on purpose if there's that buffer.
I'm sure there is a desire to get back to the table, but we should recognize that the Trump administration and the president are deeply flawed. He's got 2 more years left in office. We should be prepared to duke it out for 2 years. And then hopefully sanity will return to America. Oui. Je suis d'accord. Il n'y a aucune raison que la langue française, que la culture de la francophonie, soit au Québec ou ici dans le Manitoba, serait un enjeu pour négocier. Non. Les francophones ont dû lutter pour tes droits et ce n'est pas une question que M. Trump pourrait changer ou son équipe. Alors, nous sauvegarderons toujours la francophonie et puis la culture et la langue qui est un fait constitutionnel, qui est un fait réel dans le pays. Bien, nous regarderons aux appuis que le gouvernement fédéral annoncera cette semaine, mais je pense qu'on probablement commencerait avec les étapes que vous avez déjà vues. Peut-être des questions où les impôts pourraient être payés plus tard ou des autres mesures qui aideront les entreprises de garder leurs argent chez eux pour continuer leur bon travail dans la communauté. Ben, je suis toujours d'accord avec M. Carney et son approche aujourd'hui. Alors, j'appuie le Premier ministre et puis le Manitoba est là pour supporter la direction de notre pays. Right now? No.
We spoke to newspapers today, their shelter and steel industry. What would you say to folks about?
We're fighting for you. Donald Trump wants to take away steel. He wants to take away manufacturing jobs from our country, and we won't let him. And so we're going to continue to stand up for our country. We're going to stand up because we know that the red maple leaf is stronger than that guy with the red hat down south.
What was your reaction to following this last night or this morning to the Manitoba Premier reaction against the deal and the tariffs?
Well, I appreciate the federal officials for the outreach and keeping our team in the loop, and I got their back 100%. I think they did the right thing by walking away. I think all Canadians are united in the pride that we feel for our country and the disappointment we feel for Donald Trump and his administration. But we also know that the American people will come through this and will come back to being good trading partners in the future. So it's our hope that we can continue supporting our businesses and economy for the next couple of years so that we can see a change from the American people who hopefully by now see that Donald Trump is the worst thing that's ever happened to your pocketbook in history. Gas prices are higher than ever because of the war in Iran. Prices at the grocery store are higher than ever because of his domestic policies. And now he continues to add to your cost of living woes by bringing in more tariffs, which is a tax on you. It's a tax on you as the American people. So again, I think everybody knows he's not trustworthy. He broke his promise on egg prices a long time ago, and now he continues to undermine any credibility that he had on the cost of living. And the worst part about it, even like the MAGA hat wearing American crowd should realize, is that he doesn't care. He's out there talking about like let them eat cake type of comments. He's not in touch. He doesn't care about the American people and the cost of living. He only cares about making his family richer. And so that's why I'm confident that in the medium term we'll be able to get the American people back on side, because Americans, obviously we got a little friendly rivalry all the time between our two countries, but I'm sure Americans will see through the nonsense that we're seeing from their administration right now.
Does what happened today increase the urgency to break down the trade barriers?
Yeah, I think Manitoba's been leading the way, and we want to see more. I think you're going to see some of the other provinces probably lean more into that, which is great. Manitoba will be ready to meet them to increase the amount that we trade with one another, and then getting the big projects built. We've got a lot on the way with Manitoba Hydro, about $30 billion of investment planned by our Crown utility, beginning with the combustion turbines in Brandon. We've got the Port of Churchill, which we shared some really exciting news about year-round shipping yesterday. And then, of course, we've got the wind projects that we're partnering with Indigenous nations to build. So a lot of exciting things happening in Manitoba and much more to come.
I'm wondering if in the meeting, like, the Premier give the Prime Minister a deadline when they would like to see the deal in place?
Everybody's got Prime Minister Carney's back today. We're all united, and we're also united in our disappointment in the American administration. American people are good people, but right now they're being led by some misguided people. Thanks, folks. Have a great weekend.